Hello and welcome everybody, and thank you guys for joining me again. My name is Wilky and I'm here with a quick rundown on how to farm platinum crystals in Prismverse Clash. Since Blackfell is now a low level area, there's no platinum crystals to be farmed here. So per usual, what you're looking for are gear crates or any crates whatsoever. For example, this one here, that's me 9 platinum crystals. We're currently in the Alpha Monolith or in the Alpha Institute. There's other high level areas such as the Evergreen Vineyard, but this one contains more tier 4, the Iridium crystals. You can also get some in the Forsaken Monolith Tower and in Forward Ivy. Some of these actually have them showcased here. Don't be fooled though, there might be occasions where even the chest here will actually not give you the tier 5 platinum crystals, but tier 4 ones. So ideally you do run this on a reset timer or at least once a day. Considering you don't actually need that many, there is a good chance that you should be able to get your gear up and running in 1 or 2 days if you more or less reliably farm these. And here you can see that even storage crates can sometimes contain these crystals, so it's definitely worth just opening all the crates that you can come across, especially early on in the game. So the second way is actually fairly similar to the first one, but this time we're not looking for crates in any fortress or settlement, but we're looking for crates in the silos. Now, since we also have hard mode, this is definitely one to be running. If you're running the low-level versions, you might actually encounter low-level materials. And in similar fashion, you're looking for crates and everything that is lootable. Now, as I said, not all of this actually can or contains. So, for example, here we just have normal materials. But remember, there's also weapon crates in here. So we'll catch you guys once we actually hit that place. So here's one of the weapon crates inside this silo, and if RNG is with us, we're actually getting platinum crystals, and there we go, more stuff. So as I said, you're still looking for crates similar to what we did on the other servers, you just have to farm different locations. And considering this is something you can do risk-free every now and then, since all you need to do is actually get to that place, which is, yes, in a contested zone, but typically reaching those silos isn't as difficult as farming the actual settlement itself. So for the third option is you may actually start using controllers when taking a look at the remains from each boss. Now, I don't have a whole lot of controllers, but I didn't do Hail's House yet and stuff like that, and when using these controllers, you actually have a chance to get item. In this case, we got a Doombringer, which is tier 5, and by dismantling those guns and armors, you can actually get some platinum crystals as well. Now, given this is not a huge amount that you're going to be getting there, so in comparison to the chest runs and everything else, you're not going to be getting as many. However, this is pretty much farmable infinitely for as long as you have your controllers available. As I mentioned, right now I only have 30 controllers left, but I didn't use my sproutlets, so there's definitely more controllers that I could be getting, and I still have some in my seasonal backpack. So in that regard, there definitely is room if you want to start farming things there. But as I said, I typically don't really, or I personally, this is obviously a very subjective thing, I'm not really here in order to farm any modifications or anything. So for me, using some of these controllers is definitely going to ease the pain. Remember, we're not going to be here, we got a butterfly, we're not going to be here for very much longer. We're in phase 2, and after phase 2 we have 7 days in phase 3. So there's not that much time to be spent in PvE altogether, so I highly recommend making sure that you have enough time to use the controllers, or if you so desire, save up those controllers, bring them into the new season, the Way of Winter. That is a totally valid choice as well. Another way, which is a bit lesser known, is the use of the Deviant H37. Now, unfortunately, I only have one with skill rating 4, so ideally you have one with skill rating 5. And these little helpers can actually farm valuable materials, including crystals. Now, I didn't get any here. Some other people also reported that paper dolls are able to grab those. I have not yet gotten anything good out of paper dolls, but this may also be working. The two other ways that I have personally found, one of them is actually fairly finite, and I'm not really sure how effective it's going to be, and that is if you go to your seasonal or your Eternaland backpack. Most of you will probably have an ample amount of materials in there, and yes, there's also platinum crystals in there, in case you didn't use all of those. And these are actually here. However, the problem here is, where are my platinum crystals? The problem here is one of those is 250, so this is a fairly expensive thing to transfer, and I don't really think that this is valuable. However, If you find yourself in a pinch or you don't really have anything else to use your points on, then this may also be an option. And lastly, there is the crystal transformation. This is a mimetic specialization. I personally don't really think this is worth it. You need 15 Stardust ores and 5 tungsten ingots. Now, tungsten ingots isn't really hard to come by, but Stardust ores, especially right now, is also relatively sought after because you need it when calibrating your armors and your weapons. However, if you do find yourself that either you or somebody in your hive, your friends, have this mimetic specialization, you may also start crafting them if you have an ample amount of Stardust ores and tungsten ingots.